All right. Welcome in, YouTube, to A Programmer Plays Hollow Knight Full Soul Mode. It is my birthday, and I thought, what better way to spend the day than trying to beat this game in permadeath mode? That's right. If you're not familiar, Hollow Knight is an indie Metroidvania notable for having a really small dev team, really big world, a lot of cues from the Dark Souls genre. Um, it's Souls-like in that it's got a lot of bosses, it's pretty high difficulty, and if you die, you're behind a ghost that has all your money, and so you gotta go back to where you died, kill your own ghost, and get your money back. In Steel Soul mode, which is unlocked once you beat the game the first time, there is no ghost. Instead, when you die, that's it. The game save file locks itself, and you cannot continue from that save file. You have to start completely over again. That's what we're doing today. Let's delete a save file. There we go. And we're going to start this Steel Soul mode. So, I hope this is a fairly lengthy series. It might not be. I have not played this game in 8 months. I haven't played it since I played it on stream at the beginning of the year. So, might be a little bit rusty, but that's just part of the fun. In wilds beyond, they speak your name with reverence and regret. For none could tame our savage souls, yet you the challenge met. Under palest watch you taught we changed, base instincts were redeemed, a world you gave to bug and beast, as they had never dreamed. From Elegy for Hellenest by Monomon, the teacher. I love this game, and I'm going to be talking as we play about just stuff that I know, little observations, typical a programmer plays stuff. I'll try not to be too nerdy about it. Something I ran into the first time I played this game, it's really easy to front load and info dump at the beginning of the game, because there's just so many things, right? Like, for a game to load up and have a first level at all, you kind of have to have a bunch of stuff. And so it's, kind of front loaded in terms of just like things you could talk about. So, like, we could talk about this cutscene, technically pre rendered animated cutscene that introduces us to the knight here. Look at him, he's so cute. Talk about the color palette and how this game uses really desaturated hues for starting areas and then blows you away later with brighter colors. But we're going to actually hold that off until we get to those said brighter colors. We could talk about how this very introductory bit right here, boom, great sound design, but more importantly, the game is trying to imply to you, hey, there's no fall damage. Don't worry about it. Not a lot of people pick up on that, and that's fine. That's fair. Plenty of games have like a superhero landing to start, and then there is fall damage. So, whatever. There's another thing, like, we could talk about how this game immediately does follow Metroidvania tradition. There's something to the left. Oop. Hey, nice little geos. These geos are the thing that I was talking about, which you would typically lose as you die. We're not going to die until we do. And then the play will be over. But not going to happen. We're going to beat the game today, I promise. I do not promise. We could talk about how it's got those little lore tablets there that introduce you to the concept of how to heal yourself and all that. And how that might be a little strange for lore purposes, but we'll leave it be. Oh, thanks for following, Step Samuel. Appreciate you being here. Joy. Oof. That bit right there, we could talk about how the game is telling you that, hey, enemies are affected by the environment. It doesn't come up super often, but is relevant. You can knock enemies into thorns and stuff. How long have I been playing Hollow Knight? Often and long. Is Hollow Knight Silksong out? It is not. I would honestly be a little bit surprised if we see Silksong this year, considering how there's been like no chatter about it. But second. All right, so here's a fun thing. This game does like throw secrets at you right away, so you could find this little bit of geo, which is nice. But even better, if you know the mechanics, like pogoing off of spikes, you go ahead and get this little guy super early. So we're gonna do that. Yay! Fury of the Fallen. You occasionally play Hollow Knight? Yeah, I play it at least once a year. I played it at the beginning of the year as like the first game that I played on stream, and now today is my birthday, so we're playing it for funsies today. It feels weird running through this area and not having the dash. So, got our first charm. We're almost through our first little area. Up, up, up. Smack this down. We don't need to read that. That lore tablet says, before you lies Hallownest, first and only civilization, obey our laws. Is, lore, setting the scene. And then we get to here. Notice right there, our walking speed just changed. In Dirtmouth, our player character walks a little bit slower, which is cool. Oh there, traveler. I'm afraid there's only me left to offer welcome. Our town's fallen quiet, you see. The other residents, they've all disappeared, headed down the well one by one into the caverns below. Used to be there was a great king. Our town, it's long fell to ruin, yet it still draws folks into the depths. Wealth, glory, enlightenment, that darkness seems to promise all things. I'm sure you too seek your dreams down there. Well, watch out, it's a sickly air that fills the place. Creatures turn mad, and travelers are robbed of their memories. Perhaps dreams aren't such great things after all. Alright, we're not going to sit on the bench there, because when you sit on a bench, your temporary masks, those two blue ones that I've got, go away. They just reset along with everything else, and we don't need that. We're not planning to die, so we don't need to set a respawn point. I don't really need this charm, this Fury of the Fallen, not this point in the game. So instead, we're just going to keep going. We are not going to talk to Grub Papa yet. Having some. I want the gathering swarm as soon as humanly possible. Enough. Go ahead and talk to Carnifer to get the map. About getting into this game, can you share some interesting elements about this game? Yeah, it is. I like to play open world and challenging games like this. Yeah, it is both of those things. Very open, like you can kind of, like right here from the start, actually, we'll look at this. So we just purchased a map from Cornifer, and if we look at our map, that was the wrong button. We can see, hey, we've got a lot of directions that we can go. It's a 2D game, obviously, so it's not open world in the way that like Breath of the Wild would be. But you still have a lot of freedom to poke around, do the whole Metroidvania thing where you choose directions and go. So we'll start out left over here. Here's another fun little. If you know how to use the pogo, the game rewards you for it immediately. If you don't, that's fine. You'll come back to this later once you've got the dash or double jump. Yeah, this game, definitely try this game out. This is, in my opinion, the best game. Full stop. Like, this is my favorite game. But it's just like super well designed, and it's $15. Like, this game is absurdly cheap for something that you will easily get a 40-hour save file out of. So right there, we went down that way, we found a grub, and then that was kind of the end of that route that we can do with our current abilities. So we turn around and we start going in a different direction. Now we'll go over here. And the game is teaching us right here. The game is saying, hey, you can slash in midair. That's the lesson that the devs are trying to teach you. You don't have to stand on the ground to attack. You can attack in midair. Because there's no other way that you could get those, right? With your current ability set, that's the only solution that matters. The other thing that the devs are doing here, and this is pretty clever. So you're going to stand here. You'll probably get pushed back. So some players would like walk over here and they'd slash like this. Other players would just sort of deal with it. And if they do, ooh, secret breakable wall. This game has breakable walls. Take note of that. I totally understand a lot of players are like, fuck. Oh no, I hate that. I'm going to have to hit every wall. And yeah, I hear you. It can be a bit much. This game, there are a few that are too sneaky, in my opinion. And there's a few that are like, the color palette kind of doesn't work out. Like that breakable wall was pretty hard to spot if you're not looking specifically for it. So I get it when players are like, I kind of don't like the breakable walls. Gaines! Welcome in, Gaines! How's it going? I totally understand when people are like, I don't love that there's breakable walls in it. I get it. I like them. I enjoy like scrounging through the world and spotting the little cracks in the walls and be like, ooh, I bet I can smash that open. You have a face. I do have a face. Beard and everything. We'll go ahead and grab it. Happy birthday. Thanks. Appreciate the birthday wishes. What do you do in your spare time? What's spare time, Precious? Played a little Wukong. I'll pick it up after that. Word. Gonna let those go. In terms of free time, though, to actually answer the question, mostly stream and play stuff like this. I do a little bit of woodworking, but that's more of a utility thing. Like, hey, I need this piece of furniture, so I'm gonna just make it. But mostly just play games. Lax is great. Lax has been streaming the new Warhammer game, and that looks like a real good time. My spare time, I mostly watch anime and create some digital animation art. Nice, nice. Gaines here is also a digital artiste. This thing right here. This gives us soul. We don't need any. We're maxed out. But that's what that does. Been planning to start streaming on Twitch. Any tips? The big thing I would say is just be yourself. Like, if you're like chasing trends, if you're like trying to do what other streamers do, it's not gonna like you're not gonna have a good time. You're gonna feel artificial. Just yourself. And there's lots of ways that works, and it works differently for different people. Like some people are faceless streamers. That's great. Be a faceless streamer. Some people are PNG tubers. That's great. Be a PNG tuber. Some people like me, they've got a cam. That's great. That is not a necessity. You do not need to have your face on camera while you're streaming. I think it helps for a lot of people, but it's not at all necessary. Just be yourself. Play the games that you enjoy. Don't like play games that you're not having a good time playing. Oop, first hit. Second hit. Making mistakes. There we go. First boss down. Easy peasy. That was the Gru's mother. Named, of course, because of her motherly ways. Yeah, if you can get a camera, it will help. Like, a lot of people are weird about faceless streamers. So it definitely affects your audience. But I think that like the bigger, more important thing is to be comfortable and be enjoying streaming. So, all right, we have beelined to Sly. Sly is a vendor up in town, and he's down here. So just talking to him after beating that boss will shake him out of his funk and send him back up to the surface. You're exploring then, very brave. Plenty of courageous wanderers have been lost to the hunger of these old caverns. You have your nail though, and I can tell just by looking that you know how to wield it. Grips! Welcome in, Grips. Alright, so now that we actually took some damage in that boss fight, we can show off one of the main mechanics of this game, which is if I hold this button, boop, I can heal myself. Obviously, that took a little bit, and I couldn't walk while I was doing that. It also consumed soul, that little juicy face up there in the corner. You get soul by hitting other enemies. So, right there. Hold on. Let's talk about this. So, I jumped up and I popped out of the hole and sort of went to the right. If I was looking left when I jumped through it, I would pop out of the hole to the left. The game remembers which way you were facing in the previous scene and uses that for your spawn orientation on entering the next scene, which I think is a pretty nice little bit of continuity. It gives players a little bit of control over what's happening, all that good stuff. So, want to go over here? Never even noticed that? Yeah, you can completely control which way you're facing. No, most of the time, like right there, I walked through a doorway. Didn't matter. Of course, like the only way I'm going to walk through that doorway is face forward. So, who cares, right? Facing to the left, it would be insane to have any other option. But for, the vertical apertures, it does matter. Y'all saw right there, pogoing in this game, unbelievably, like, fighting this enemy horizontally, kind of a pain. Fighting them vertically and bouncing on top of them, much better. Little mothers there do spawn a couple of the little ones every time I kill them, though, which is annoying. Oh. I do not have a Discord. I've sort of joked before, if 10 separate people ask me to create a Discord, I will. Thus far, we're at 3. So, boop, just like that. So, a lot of people come into this room and they don't know yet about the bouncing off of spikes, the pogoing like that. And they're like, oh, I need to come back with a double jump and whatever. And that does eventually work. You do eventually get enough traversal abilities but this game likes to reward players who, are playing for the second time, and that's one of the ways that they do. Here's another example of the pogo mechanic being kind of OP. These guys have shields, so if I slash them, that's doing very little damage unless I time it right. But he doesn't shield his head, so I can just bounce on top of him and destroy him. Alright, now, here again, the game is doing something that a lot of players don't like. Let me kill this enemy and this enemy. If we listen, very quiet. It's actually super quiet. Hold on. That's still actually maybe too quiet. How's that? That should be better. You can hear the little meow meow sounds of the grubs. So players will scrounge around in this room looking for where is that baby grub. Is it over here? No. Is it over here? And some players will think, oh, well, maybe it's in an adjacent room. The game doesn't do that. If you can hear a grub, it's in the room that you're in. It's right here. And that wall, I get it. Like, that wall's maybe a little hard to spot. This opening tile set, the art assets for the Forgotten Crossroads are maybe a little hard to read. All right. I love the grubs. They're so freaking cute. And they're such a good, like... They're an effective way of getting the players to interact with the environment more. I don't know. They're just well-designed little guys. Alright. And so now... Dude, the way that this game has been drawn is great. And it's also very smart. So let's actually talk about... Yeah, I guess we'll go ahead and put this one on for now. Not that we did, but... Alright. An interesting thing about this game is the frame rate at which things are animated. So I'm moving. If you look at my little feet, there's not that many frames of animation of moving around. The position of my sprite is very smooth. That's 60 frames a second, no problem. But the frame rate of my feet, I think, is more like 6 frames a second. And if you look at these enemies, it's a little tricky, but like, look at this. This is called a tick-tick. He's actually only got like 3 frames of animation. That's it. And that's true for most enemies. They've got like 3 frames of animation that cycles a couple times a second in their normal walking state. He doesn't have a hit react or anything. He's got a death pose, obviously. But like, there's not that much in terms of art assets. Just moving things around the screen, having them follow patterns, is enough to sell the illusion of, hey, there's a creature there. And then you can fill in, you can spackle over all the rough edges with effects, particle effects of, I hit it and some orange goop came out of it. So, again, that bell had like 3 frames of animation and then a shine effect on it. That's it. Got this guy. He's got a more complicated idle pose because he's got separate, I don't really indicate, this game doesn't have a mouse. His joints, or part of his leg, are separate images that are moving around in relation. You can kind of tell how at the knees it doesn't actually stay put perfectly, so this is one of their less perfect animations. But separately, they've got the face animation, him turning and the beard moving. That's great. Like, that is a phenomenal animation for something that's actually fairly simple. It's probably like 12 frames long. So good stuff. Part of what makes it work is that his like side beard part also moves. It's not just his little one, so that sort of sells that like his whole head is moving and has inertia. So anyways, let's listen. Greetings, little one. It's been an age since I last heard the ringing of the station bell. It echoed down the stagways and called me to you. I've grown stiff and tired over these many years, and I've forgotten much, but the sound of the bell will always call me back. These stagways stretch the depths of Hallownest. If you want to travel them, hail me from the platform. I will take you where you need to go. Boom, fast travel. And so now we can fast travel our way back up to Dirtmouth. I pronounce it Dirtmouth. Other people say Dirtmouth. I don't think either one is right or wrong. I'm not aware of Team Cherry saying, hey, this is the right way to say it, but there you go. All right, so we've got what is clearly a door over here, right? But based on the god rays, the light coming in. But we can't walk through that. Instead, we need to interact with this shiny thing over here. The lever, simple 2 images that one of them will rotate when we go over. Notice that it sort of like overshot and bounced back, which is a nice little touch. Also notice that they put a little glow on it once it had been activated. Glowing things have been used. And now the door is open. Muth is the more British way of saying it. Yeah, exactly. So, hey, we're back here, and now this is open. You can go to Sly and say, hey, can I buy some stuff? Hello. I knew we'd meet again. How do you like my cozy little store? I've made myself pretty comfortable here, selling old trinkets to travelers like yourself. If you're planning a trip below, I have several items that may improve your chance of survival. He does. I want this one first and foremost. Gathering Swarm is a charm that we can equip onto our character, and that will make Geo that's fallen on the ground just sort of magnetically come to me. It's not a little more complicated than that, but long story short, that's how that works. We need a lot of Geo because we need this item, the Lumafly Lantern. And as you can see, it's expensive. It's so expensive. 1,800? Are you kidding me? We'll get there. Man, I really thought I'd have enough for the Mask Shard, but they're not. Mask Shards work like pieces of heart in Zelda. You get 4 of them, get an upgrade. Also, since we talked to Cornifer, the map guy, Map Shop is open. And we can see Zelda, the best character.
Bapanada.
I love Zelda. Come to buy a map, have you? Really my husband you should be dealing with, but what a surprise, he's headed down below. He'll pop back occasionally to deliver new maps for the store, but I do wish he'd spend a little more time up here. I'm not much interested in retail myself. Now, let's see what's here for me to sell. Empanadas. Yep, exactly. Need Geo if you want to see. So, for the sake of pointed stuff on the map, I am going to get the quill. We don't really need it, but it's useful. We also could get all of these pins, but we'll worry about that some other time. Like I was saying about talking about this game being very front loaded, let's talk about an interesting design choice here. So we talked to her in order to access the store, but all of the NPCs, all of the vendor NPCs, we can also walk over and talk to them from the other side to just talk to them. Of all the places to end up, we've picked this dreary town. I thought it a temporary stop. Then my husband became obsessed with that old ruin. Now he's spending all his time down there. He argues cartography is sound business, but other than you, it's buying. Poor Zelda, she's not having a great time up here. All right, so we've got that. Let's go talk. We don't need to do this, but we're gonna do it anyways. Just I feel like it. Let's go talk to our boy in the temple. Oh, dang it, I didn't equip. That's fine. Well, nah. Alright, we're going back. Ascend. Ascend, ascend, ascend with Gorb. Alright, sit on here. We're gonna equip that. So, Gathering Swarm will pull Geo towards us. One. I'm greedy. So, much like how in, see? you coming to us. Much like how in Dark Souls, when you sit at a bonfire, enemies respawn, so too in Hollow Knight, when you sit on a bench, the enemies respawn. There are some exceptions. Some enemies are permadead, bosses are permadead, some big enemies are permadead. There's very few of them. Hello there! How delightful to meet another traveler on these forgotten roads. You're a short one, but you have a strong look to you. I'm Quirrell. I have something of an obsession with uncharted places. This ancient kingdom holds many fascinating mysteries, and one of the most intriguing of them is standing right before us. A great stone egg lying in the corpse of an ancient kingdom, and this egg is warm, off a unique air. Can it be opened? There are strange markings all over it. I do so love a mystery, and who knows what other marvels lie even deeper below us. Hollow Knight NPCs do have multiple dialogues, which you just have to talk to them multiple times to exhaust. For so long, I felt drawn here, so many tales of wonders and horrors. No longer could I resist, I just had to see it for myself. And what a time I chose to arrive. The dead world has sprung to life. The creatures are riled up and the earth rumbles. The air is thick. I wonder what could have brought it all about. Right? So much love and respect for this game. To persevere in this ruin, that old nail alone just won't be enough. Oh, that's no problem. One only has to look around. Plenty have come before us, and most have met their grisly end. Many more equipped than you and I. I'm sure they wouldn't mind were a fellow traveler to relieve them of their tools. It's a kindness, really. The dead shouldn't be burdened with such things. You pass that town above. What a gloomy little place, and such majesty hidden right beneath. I suppose that's why they've all headed down here. Who could resist such possibilities? Truly a marvel. And now we've exhausted his dialogue. I don't think it's possible to dream nail him at that point. Not sure. You'd really have to sequence break in order to pull that off. I would love to love and respect, but I was just confused. Well, hang out with us. We'll show you the way. Alright, so here's a big enemy. This is not one that like stays permadead, it's just a big enemy. This guy is interesting because he's teaching you stuff. He's teaching you that you can take 2 hearts of damage, masks of damage, from a single hit. He's also teaching you that positioning can be really important. I stand in this corner, he doesn't come all the way over and wreck me. The point of this enemy is to teach you about positioning, patience. It's also to teach you about that shockwave attack there. He also drops a lot of money and is protecting a grub. First time I played this game, I was new. I need some help because the game offers a little hand-holding, but there's some guidance if you look. Yeah. So, like, Hollow Knight's hard. It is. It's a very hard game. And it can be pretty cryptic. But there are hints there, if you know where to look. The game is trying to help you out. It's just maybe a little more subtle about it than it should be. I do wish, I know this is a controversial opinion, especially for someone playing a hard mode. I wish this game had an easy mode. I feel like we lose a lot of people who would really love this game just because the base difficulty is too high. And I know that upsets a lot of Souls-like fans. Get over it, man. Games should be as accessible to as many people as possible. If a game wants to have an invincibility mode, let games have invincibility modes. Oh, you're wrong. Alright, so now we get to meet one of the most delightful characters, and also most heartbreaking. Hyla. Oh, bury my mother, pale and slight. Bury my father with his eyes shut tight. Bury my sisters 2 by 2. And when you're done, let's bury me too. Do you know that one? It's one of my favorites. We can sing something else if you'd like. You start singing and I'll join in. I bet you have beautiful singing voice. So what are you down here for? If you came to get wealthy, just look around you. These mines are still bursting with riches. There's plenty for everyone. Just grab a pick and join in. What a wholesome character who's like, you here to get rich? Great. Hop in. Let's go. Oh, bury the knight with her broken nail. Bury the priest? Something about a crown? I can't remember the rest of that one. Maybe I'll just hum it. Alright. There is stuff over here. We'll go ahead and look just to see it. So if we walked over here and poked here, we do hit a dead end. There's this shaky floor, which when we walk on will honestly scare a lot of players. It's a little bit of a jump scare because they're probably remembering that first area where the floor fell out from under them. That floor won't fall out from under us until we do a thing. There's also this right here. Another soul statue. We're full up on souls, so we don't need it. So, freaking Milo, so freaking adorable and precious, right? She's so precious. Messed that up. Cool. Man. And to me, that's like the thing that this game does so well that most other games don't. Because our healing is replenished by just hitting things, much like the chi in Punk, we can get ourselves into a pretty deep trouble, and we can go exploring super deep, and it's fine. Like, we will replenish our resources as we go. The way that Dark Souls is like, hey, here's your Estus flasks, and they are a finite resource, I feel like kind of discourages players from a lot of playstyle choices. This game, it's like, hey, if you want to heal, if you want to be defensive, you need to be offensive first. You need to get in there and smack something. I think is a great design. Alright, so we have now made a loop. We've come back around this side. A lot of the map design of this game is all about loops. And there's a door over here that we haven't been through. Poke through our head in here. It's Papa Grub. Papa Grub, do you have any gifts for me? Elden Ring changed that and gave a decent amount of opportunity to get flasks back. So yeah, which I think is a tremendous improvement on the design. Didn't jump there, just straight up just didn't do the thing that I was supposed to do. Oops. Alright, so our newfound riches. See there, because we were facing to the right, we jumped out to the right. Elden Ring bosses look so damn cool. Yeah, they do. There's some phenomenal Elden Ring boss designs out there. FromSoft has always had great creature design. Alright. We're gonna buy this mask shard. Not that we can use it, like it's just one of 4. We don't get any benefit from it right now. But because this is a Steel Soul run, I want that ASA possible. Or get 3 more. And now, let's go fight a boss. Main bosses are just fun. A lot of the smaller ones are used, but so cool. Yeah. When you've got the sheer number of bosses that Elden Ring has, that's unsurprising. So, let's look at our map. We are... it's hard to indicate, but we're in the middle here. This little... Hard to indicate. If you look at the R in Forgotten Crossroads and go straight up, we're not in the first room above that, we're in the second room above that. And then there's an empty room above that, which we haven't explored yet. So we're going to go there. And the reason we're going to go there is if we look to the left of that, there's a little base icon. That's where we need to go. That's the boss of the area. So, sit on this, not because we really need to, but just because I felt like it. Oop. My lips are so dry today. Terrible. Alright, so another one of these guys. Again, teaching about positioning and shockwaves. This guy actually has a fun little secret. So if we bait him coming over here and get him to slash, he'll open up that breakable wall for us. A lot of players don't even notice that breakable wall. Oh, that was a mistake. Again, positioning. He can't follow us into this little tube. Damn. Next. Again, though. There we go. Now, unfortunately, we can't really do much more with this tube at this point. Can't get through the spike tube over here. But still some geo for us to collect, which we need. I think when I was playing, I got lost, found one boss that was crazy hard, and then uninstalled. Probably this boss, honestly. This boss, for a lot of people, is a really rough intro. So, clear out these three dudes. Oop, that's not a good sign. Pop. So, False Knight. False Knight rewards you for playing aggressive. Stay close to him, you're A-okay. Give me your face. If you don't stay close to him, you'll get smacked and you'll have a bad time. Yeah. Bullhead. So squishy. I am taking advantage of some knowledge that's maybe not like super apparent, like you can smack those little falling rocks to do some extra damage to them. I also just played this enough that I know that I can like squeeze under him there. That's kind of a counterintuitive strat for someone who's just encountering this guy for the first time. But like right there, I smacked that rock and I hit him in the face. There we go. First boss. Well, I guess technically second boss. We did fight Gro's mother. By killing him, we get the city crest. That'll be useful later. Also, consider this little hammer that he was just attacking us with. I love this. Oh, thanks for the GGs. Wait long enough. Yeah, his hammer was actually a creature that we can torment. Bye, little fella. Sorry that you were used as a bludgeoning instrument. Also get a shit ton of money from defeating him. 200. Yeah, that was the False Knight. The advice for False Knight is get a lot closer than you think you should and smack him and watch his tells. He does have different stances for whether he's going to do like a normal swing or the wave attack. And then between each wave, he'll do a little ground smash. You don't want to be close to him for that. That's a bad time. And now we can talk to the snail shaman. Uh-oh, who is that creeping out of the darkness? My, you're looking grim. A strange, empty face and a wicked-looking weapon. Something important has drawn you into Hallownest's corpse. But I won't ask what. Perhaps the reason you found me is because you need my help. Say no more, friend. I'm going to give you a gift, a nasty little spell of my own creation. It's just perfect for a little one like you. Yay! Technically our second spell, because we start out with the healing spell. Boop. And unconscious. Doomed the Vengeful Spirit. Tap B to unleash the spirit. Spells will deplete soul, replenish soul by striking enemies. Now, something I really like about this game, like, this is such a minor flavor thing, but I love it. We didn't acquire the Vengeful Spirit. We didn't take it. We consumed it. We ate it. We don't even have a mouth that we can see, and yet consume the Vengeful Spirit. So cool. Such a great little bit of flavor that we don't learn the spells. We don't acquire them. Nom, 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 nom. So let's do something fun. I'm not going to talk to him. Them? I'm not actually sure what gender the snail shamans are. Snails are typically hermaphroditic, I believe, so I guess them would... or proper? So, now we're in this little area. We've been trapped in here by that snail. Spikes on the ceiling, so we don't want to jump too much. Alright, so there was a charm that we could have bought earlier, except we didn't have the cash for it, but would have been useful in this situation. When you attack, you get pushed back a little bit. So, see how I'm getting pushed back by the impact there? When you're on little platforms like that, like this, that can be a little stressful. It's not great. So, best solution to that, in my opinion, is to pogo. If you're getting pushed upwards, then it doesn't matter. No, stay in there. You live in there. Okay, there we go. Couple extra masks for us. We're at full juice. And now, if we had been more thorough earlier, we would have seen one of these guys before. And we wouldn't have been able to do anything about him. Oop. Gosh, that thing rolling quickly. To kill him, we just need to shoot him 4 times. Easy, easy. And now, we can get this charm, Soul Catcher. Soul Catcher's a really nice charm. Because what Soul Catcher does is it increases the amount of soul that we get whenever we hit something. So basically, hey, do you need more soul in total to be doing more damage? Do you just need more soul quickly in order to be healing more frequently? This is a great one, and it's reasonably cheap. 2 notches of this. So now, here's why I didn't talk to the Snail Shaman just a little bit ago. Oh, there you are. I was watching over you as you slept and must have slipped away myself. I woke up and found you disappeared. You are a surprising one. Oh, ho, ho, ho. Actually, I wanted to ask a small favor of you. You see, there's a certain creature lurking just above us in the heart of this temple. Oh, well, yet another surprise. You've slain that creature before I've even asked. I love that this game has branching dialogue depending on what actions you've done that is context sensitive. I've already killed that thing. They acknowledge this, and just say oh, I was going to ask you to do this thing, you've already done it. Great, that's phenomenal. I scarcely deserve such a friend as you. You're a marvel. And look, the gate between us has opened. I'm sure you're eager to move on. Farewell, and have faith. Whatever you are seeking, it will find you. You need to do audiobooks. Gosh, I feel like I tripped over my words way too much to do that. We're not gonna... we are gonna sit on this. So we're losing the blue mask there, but take this off because we're not really using it, and put this on. I'm going to be using this a lot more. What's up, Sigzumi? Welcome in. We just beat our first couple bosses and acquired our second spell. And there's a lever here, which means we can open up a shortcut to where Cornifer was. We need to speak to Cornifer a second time so that he'll actually introduce himself. He's got that COVID socialization problem and has forgotten that you're supposed to introduce yourself to people. So, this is the enemy I was just referencing, where, hey, I need to shoot them 4 times. Thank you. And the little boulders that spawn out. Oh, close. There we go. So yeah, that is the first like proper like ability lock of the game. Hey, you need. I missed. Need this ability in order to move on to the next area. And man, look at this area. Look at how vibrant greens are compared to the dull blues of the Forgotten Crossroads. It really like hits you in the face, and then they give you it'll like you give soul to hit. It's like he gives you soul to hit him with. Can I ask a lore question? Sure, please do. Lore question me up. DM the address if you want to let me know where to send birthday bread. Ooh, I definitely do that. Writing a note to myself on my whiteboard to do that. And cookies. Hell yeah, love cookies. So, okay. Just as we had breakable walls, so too do we have just little like shaded areas. You don't even have to do anything, you just walk into them. A lot of people in this game, I see this in a lot of YouTube playthroughs, where they'll like slash at walls and they won't hear anything, and so they'll be like, all right, I'm done here. And I'm like, oh, if you had just taken like 2 more steps forward, just walked into that wall for a second, what you thought was a wall, you would have found a cool little secret. And in some ways, that's like more painful to me than the people not breaking walls. Like, people not breaking walls, I get it. Sometimes you don't notice that they made a little sound. But when you just don't walk into a shady area because you thought there was nothing there, oh, it kills me. Is it here? They ever say how the bridges in Path collapse? Not that I'm aware of. The implication would be that it's just old. Like it's really unclear how much time has passed since the Pilgrim's Way was last used and now. Like, we just don't know. Is it centuries? Is it decades? Is it like they're bugs? Maybe it's a year. We don't know. We just don't know. And so the most likely answer is, you know, it's just infrastructure that got worn out by all of the plants growing there and the movement of water. It's obviously a very humid place. This would be rough on infrastructure. We're not given any proper answers. So, let's meet Silksong, as a lot of people call it. This is Hornet over here in the top left. Hey, Hornet! How's it going? Aw, runs away. They say an age, but we don't know what an age is. Yeah, exactly. Like, is it an age in bug years, or is it an age in, like, elvish years? Because, like, I don't know. So, here's a fun thing. We saw Hornet. We want, as the player, to go where she was, right? Like, oh, interesting character. I want to follow them. And we can't quite make that jump. That jump is tuned to be just a little bit out of reach. We need something. Beta testers of the game discovered, hey, this enemy here, if I bait it up to here, and then use... Oh, nope. Oh, I screwed it up. I screwed that one up profoundly badly. Alright, well, we're not going to get it, but you guys see where I'm going with that. You can pogo off of that enemy to get onto that little bit and skip a huge amount of this area. Speedrunners use it all the time. And Team Cherry saw this when the game was still in beta, and Team Cherry was like, oh, that's rad. Which I have a lot of respect for. Developers seeing like, hey, there's an exploit, but it's not like hurting anything. Good stuff. And age in our timeliness is just over 100. I don't know how helpful. 2000. I tend to think of ages in terms of like Lord of the Rings. You know, first age, third age, all that. Here's a fun thing. Nice little mechanic. In squish dudes. Now, squishing dudes actually not that helpful to me, because when you squish dudes, you also squish all of their money, and as mentioned before, I'm greedy. So I'm actually not going to squish this guy, because I want to kill him and steal his lunch money. But now that I've taken that money, sure, I'll knock that down. For a mayfly, it'd be like 3 days, yeah. So, Hollow Knight's really good about giving audio cues. If we listen, we can hear, oh, Cornifer is humming. You can also see, hey, there's little like visual cues. This is a paper lying around. Cornifer, not actually that good about keeping his maps on him. Well, a gust of wind comes along and dude's just in shambles. So you can find Cornifer just by listening and looking for clues. You don't have to actually see him to know that he's... I think it's cool. Isn't this a contrast from the crossroads? Such a humid, lively place. The roads twist and turn in the most wonderful ways. I've done my best to chart the area ahead, though I must admit some of the area's inhabitants proved quite a nuisance. Purchase a map, you betcha. Also, let's have him introduce himself, because he's forgotten to twice now. Oh, by the way, I haven't introduced myself, have I? Yes, I should apologize for that. When you spend a lot of time by yourself with just your own thoughts, you forget the niceties of conversation. True. My name is Cornifer, and I've always loved exploring the world. Why, when I first hatched, I wandered off immediately, leaving my brothers and sisters and poor mother behind. That's why as soon as I could, I moved to Dirtmouth with my wife. A huge, unending kingdom to explore right on our doorstep. Who could resist? Anyway, I'll let you return to your travels. With a little luck, we'll meet again. Be safe. Farewell. I love Cornifer. I mean, of all of the characters, I probably identify the most with Cornifer. Down to his flaws, like... dude is not organized. I feel it. What the bridge is made from? It would mostly be stone. Most stuff in Hollow Nest is made from either stone, metal, or chitin. Secret. The reason we can figure out that this secret is here, one, we could look and see the little bit of blackness there. But two, you can hear this guy. Oh, grub. I don't know why I'm playing looking at the monitor. That's the wrong way to play. There's latency there. How long would it take for a material to generate? You may have a minimum time. That'd be tricky. I don't know if... Like, it's doubtful that they've invented reinforced concrete here. So it's probably cut stone. And cut stone lasts forever. It's very difficult to do, but, I mean, the Roman aqueducts are still standing. And those are 2,000 years old. Chunks of Hadrian's Wall are pretty sure those are still standing. I'm in masonry forums. Yeah. The moisture, plant growth would be like the big factors. Like, drop ruins into a jungle, it's going to have a much harder time. Now, that said, like, Incan ruins, Mayan ruins still exist. My Echo just started playing. Anyways, this guy. Tiny Squib, you approach fearless. Are you a hunter like me? Do you feel the urge inside to stalk, to kill, to understand? Then take it. My journal. It will aid you. At first the text may seem difficult to discern, but a learned hunter will come to understand its words. Venture the depths of this land and slay its beasts. Prove yourself worthy to bear the mark of hunter. Hunter's Journal, let's go! Press that button to open menu, then navigate to the journal pane. Defeat enemies to add new entries to the journal and decipher the hunter's note. So, Hollow Knight, being a nigh-perfect game, has one of my favorite features, which is a bestiary. Every game should have bestiary in it. Bestiary, bestiary, whatever you prefer. Also, it does something correct that I really like. So, see how we've got... Turn myself off here. Got a little description at the top, and then a few notes from the hunter. And then if we go down to the next one, same thing, but hey, we need to kill more in order to see those notes from the hunter. That little bit of lore, that little bit of incentive. Keep killing enemies, even if we don't necessarily need to. This helps bridge one of the common problems that Souls-like games have, which is once you like go through an area, you're kind of disincentivized from engaging with the enemies in that area. It's usually better to just sprint past them than, well, it's trying to avoid taking damage and took damage instead by jumping into the acid. Good job, me. In a lot of Souls games, you are disincentivized from engaging with the enemies because you don't get anything from doing it. There's no lore, there's no, like, yeah, you get money, but do you really need that money? Maybe you get XP, maybe you don't. Like, another game that I'm playing, Death's Gambit, it pretty quickly becomes not worth it to kill enemies, which is a shame. And this is not a problem that's unique to Souls-like games. Just perhaps a little more noticeable in Souls-like games. Alright, so we're gonna not follow Hornet a little bit because I do want to grab this bench. Mostly because map updated. And also because this is a good cutting point for the first of the YouTube VODs of this playthrough. Next VOD will be just picking up right here where we are right now. So, YouTube, appreciate you. Hope y'all are enjoying the series, and I'll see you next video. Bye!